Last class I discussed ANS topic like parasympathomimetics, the drugs which will mimic the actions of acetylcholine because the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. Today I am going to start with the anticholinergics, means the drugs which will block the action of acetylcholine. So that's why they call it as anticholinergics. The drugs which will mimic the action of acetylcholine, we will call it as cholinergic drugs or parasympathomimetics. But the drugs which will block the actions of acetylcholine, we call it as anticholinergic drugs or parasympatholytic drug. Also, we call it as a muscarinic receptor antagonist or atropinic drug. Why these two names, atropinic or muscarinic receptor antagonist? Because why atropinic? In this we are going to study a main drug, a prototype drug is atropine. So that's why we call it as an atropinic drugs. And why the muscarinic receptor antagonist? Because acetylcholine acts on two types of receptors, muscarinic and nicotinic, and this atropine, it blocks only muscarinic receptors. Muscarinic receptors sometimes M1 to M5, right? M2, M3, M4, M5. Atropine, it can able to block all the subtypes of muscarinic receptor, but it does not block the nicotinic receptors like NM or NN type, those who are present in autonomic ganglion and skeletal muscle. It's not going to block. See, what are the actions you saw for acetylcholine? You will see exactly opposite. We'll move to the next slide. First, we'll look at the classification. See, this classification is very important for nursing and physiotherapy student because they will ask for 10-mark question. Coming to the classification of anticholinergics, they'll ask like that, classifying anticholinergics only, direct question, and in detail about atropine. Classification: natural alkaloid, atropine, hyoscine, it's also called scopolamine. This scopolamine, it's used in motion sickness. We have this transdermal patches also of this scopolamine. Transdermal patches, you have a 5-mark question, so remember that. This is one example. Scopolamine, we have transdermal patches, right? Next, semi-synthetic derivatives like homatropine, atropine methonitrate, hyoscine butyl bromide, tiotropium bromide and ipratropium bromide. Except this tiotropium and ipratropium, these two are used in bronchial asthma. But this homatropine, atropine methonitrate, even cyclopentolate, these are used in dilatation of the pupil as a mydriatic. Synthetic compounds like mydriatics, cyclopentolate, tropicamide. Okay, this tropicamide is the nowadays more commonly used for dilatation of the pupil. Okay, next is the vasoselective oxybutynin, flavoxate, tolterodine, darifenacin, sulfenacin. Anti-Parkinsonian drugs. These drugs mainly used in Parkinson disease, trihexyphenidyl, procyclidine and piperidine. Okay. What is mydriasis? Mydriasis means meiosis is the constriction of pupil. Mydriasis means dilatation of the pupil. Okay. Antisecretory, antispasmodic drugs, quaternary compound, propantheline, oxyphenonium, clidinium, glycopyrrolate, isopropamide. See, this glycopyrrolate, they are used as a pre-anesthetic medication, more commonly used one. Tertiary amine, dicyclomine, valethamate, pyrazipine. We'll go in detail about atropine because it will come as a 10-mark question. It's an alkaloid obtained from Atropobelladonna or Datura stramonium. It's also called belladonna. Atropine, it's also called belladonna. Like if atropine poison occur, they call it as a belladonna poisoning also. It's not different. Why the name belladonna? Because the meaning is it's a beautiful lady. Means the one beautiful lady, she used to dilate a pupil. She was using this datura plant fruit earlier days. That's why the name comes. Hyoscine from Hyoscyamus niger. Atropine, I told it's a muscarinic receptor antagonist. Okay, it blocks only the muscarinic receptor. It does not have any action on the nicotinic receptors. All anticholinergics are competitive antagonists. I give an example of atropine and acetylcholine for competitive antagonism. What is competitive antagonism? It's also called reversible antagonism. See here, as agonist and antagonist, they both bind to a same site on the receptors because structurally they are similar. If you increase the concentration of agonist, you can able to block the actions of antagonist. Okay, see here acetylcholine is and atropine, they bind same site on the receptor. Atropine, it blocks the actions of acetylcholine. But if you increase the concentration of acetylcholine, how much acetylcholine is there, it will be how much atropine we are taking. If it is less, that time acetylcholine will show the action. Atropine cannot able to prevent it. Okay, that type of antagonism is called competitive antagonism. If the mechanism they asked, it acts on the muscarinic receptor, and the muscarinic receptor antagonism is going to block. That's the simple mechanism here. It's a plant name, Atropa belladonna. It's also called deadly nightshade, and this is the structure of atropine and scopolamine. The thrust ammonium, Hyoscyamus niger. Hyoscyamus niger, hyoscine is obtained. Okay, coming to the pharmacological actions. See here, whatever the actions you have seen for acetylcholine, exactly opposite you will see here. We'll go one by one. Action of the CNS, overall effect is stimulant effect. Atropine stimulates vagal, vasomotor and respiratory center. This is for mainly the depressant action on the vestibular apparatus is mainly for the scopolamine. Okay, this is not for atropine. Most of the students, they will write, if you are writing, you should mention the word scopolamine causes depression of the vestibular apparatus or depressed vestibular excitation. It's mainly for scopolamine. It's not the action of atropine. So that's why it says anti-motion sickness property. In case of motion sickness, the person, when you're traveling, you can take this tablet. Even we have this scopolamine tablets. Before commencement of the journey, you can take at least half an hour before, you can take one tablet. It blocks the cholinergic overactivity in basal ganglia, so it suppresses tremor and rigidity. That's why they are used in Parkinson's disease. If you go higher dose, it causes cortical excitation, restlessness, disorientation, like you can't concentrate, hallucination, you feel like someone is talking, really it does not exist. Delirium, it's a mental confusion. It is followed by, if it is not treated, respiratory depression and coma. Next, death may occur. Action on the heart. M2 receptors are present. Acetylcholine causes bradycardia and also decrease in force of contraction, and AV block it causes. But here you will see opposite. Instead of bradycardia, you will see tachycardia. Here tachycardia is due to blockade of this M2 receptor, and it facilitate AB conduction, but there is an AB block will occur. Okay. Action on the BP. Since this acetylcholine acting on the muscarinic receptor, especially in 3 receptors, it releases nitric oxide and causes fall in BP. But here you will see both the effect. Fall in BP or rise in BP, it depends. It's not consistent. Increased BP due to tachycardia and stimulation of the vasomotor center, and fall in BP mainly due to histamine release and direct vasodilatation and higher doses. Okay, you have to give higher dose to see this fall in BP. Action on the eye. Acetylcholine, what it causes? It causes miosis. How it causes? By blocking sphincter pupillae or circular muscle, and by contracting sphincter pupillae or circular fibers, and the IV. But here you will see mydriasis because there is a blockade of sphincter pupillae. Means if sphincter, there is a contraction of the circular fiber and sphincter pupillae, means dilator pupillae will be, a radial fiber will be relaxed. But here you will see opposite. If sphincter pupillae is blocked, means there is a contraction of the dilator pupillae. Blocking or if it is relaxed, means there is a contraction of the dilator pupillae or radial muscle. Okay, don't get confused, both are same only. Sphincter pupillae it's also called circular fibers. Dilator pupillae it's also called radial fibers. Abolition of light reflex. Like after installing atropine, if you put a light torch also, you don't see see the blinking effect. So like that they will confirm there is a abolition of the light reflex. Next, what is the action? Means paralysis of ciliary muscle. There is a contraction of the ciliary muscle. Eye is fixed to a near distance and vision is fixed to a near distance. Okay, but here there is a paralysis of ciliary muscle. There is a spasm of accommodation, but here it is a paralysis of accommodation. That leads to photophobia. Patient feel fear to the light, blurring of near vision, increase intraocular pressure. There is a decrease in intraocular pressure when you see the actions of acetylcholine, because it increases drainage of aqueous humor through the canal of Schlemm. But here you will see increase in intraocular pressure. That's why atropine is contraindicated in case of glaucoma. You should not give. Okay. So these are the pictures they have shown how meiosis will occur. If there is a meiosis, means contraction of sphincter pupillae, and relaxation of dilator pupillae. If you say mydriasis, means opposite you will say contraction of dilator pupillae, relaxation of the sphincter pupillae. Okay. Next, action on the smooth muscle. Their overall effect is contraction, but here it is opposite. You will see tone and amplitude of contraction are reduced. Okay, there is no much contraction, because acetylcholine, by acting on M3 receptor, it causes contraction on all the smooth muscle. But here atropine is going to block the M3 receptor, so you don't see contraction anywhere. Okay. In stomach and intestine, passage of chyme is slowed and constipation will occur here. But there is an abdominal cramps will occur. Smooth muscles of bronchi also dilated. Airway resistance is reduced in chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and asthma patients. See, in case of asthma patients, I told first in classification itself, ipratropium bromide and tiotropium bromide as an inhaler, they will use these atropinic substitutes because it causes dilatation of the bronchial smooth muscle. In case of asthma, there is a contraction will be there, constriction of the bronchial smooth muscle will be there, but here it's going to cause dilatation. Relaxation of the smooth muscle of ureter and urinary bladder, it may cause urinary retention. Their contraction of the ureter and urinary bladder, it causes trigeminal sphincter of the urinary bladder, it causes a micturition will occur, or they will pass urine, voiding will occur, but here there is a urinary retention. All the secretions are increased there, but here by blocking M3 receptor, all the secretions are decreased. Sweat, salivary, lacrimal and tracheobronchial secretions. Acid, mucus and pepsin, they also decreased. So there is a decrease in sweating, like patient won't sweat. Because of that, body temperature will increase. Body temperature rises in body temperature at high dose. One is by inhibiting sweating and stimulating temperature regulatory center. Children are more susceptible for this atropinic fever. Okay. Pharmacokinetics, this is you can leave if you want, you can write, it's up to you. Atropine and hyoscine are rapidly absorbed from GI tract, freely penetrate cornea and topical application, restricted penetration into brain. 50% of atropine is metabolized in liver and rest is excreted and changed in urine. Plasma of life is 3 to 4 hours. Hyoscine is completely metabolized, has better penetration to blood-brain barrier. Maybe this is the reason they are used in motion sickness. Okay. Coming to the side effects and toxicity, the scientist named Cohen, he has given some mnemonics how to remember this atropine poisoning or side effects. First we'll go with that. As dry as bone. Why it is dry? Because all the secretions are decreased by blocking M3 receptors. Dry skin, dry mouth. Dry skin because sweating is reduced. Dry mouth because salivary secretion is also reduced. As red as beetroot, how much it will be red? That much red. Hyperpyrexia and flashing of face. Okay. As blind as bat. It can't see daytime, only nighttime it can able to see, right? Mydriasis. Why mydriasis? There is a contraction of the dilated pupillae and relaxation of the sphincter pupillae. Okay, or simply you can remember blockade or paralysis of the sphincter pupillae also. Due to that, there is a photophobia. And as mad as hen, because it causes stimulant effect on all the CNS system, all the central nervous system. It causes stimulant effect, confusion, restlessness, hallucination. So simply you can write these also, or I have one previous slide, or you can write that also. It's up to you. There is some mnemonics, one mnemonic we have given here, that is D. Everywhere D, it starts with a D, like that you can remember. Dry mouth, because salivary secretion is decreased. Due to dry mouth, there is a difficulty in swallowing. Salivary secretion is decreased. Difficulty in swallowing and the talking also. Dry, flushed and hot skin, especially in face and neck. It's mainly for sweating is decreased. Again, fever also is mainly due to sweating is decreased, and there is an alteration in the thermoregulatory center. Difficulty in micturition, because it causes relaxation of the ureter and urinary bladder. Dilated pupillae, mainly because contraction of the dilated pupillae or relaxation or paralysis of the sphincter pupillae. Photophobia also, like they feel fear to the light, blurring of near vision, or cycloplegia or paralysis of the ciliary muscle causes this cycloplegia and blurring of near vision, and also paralysis of the accommodation. Next is the delirium, hallucination, excitement, psychotic behavior, ataxia is mental confusion. These are all mainly because it has stimulant effect on the central nervous system. Hypotension in low doses, in high doses you will see hypotension mainly due to histamine release, and then histamine release, and also stimulation of one is due to histamine release. Okay, and weak rapid pulse, cardiovascular collapse with respiratory depression, convulsion and coma. At least wherever D is there, depression, delirium, you can remember at least one. Dry mouth, difficulty in swallowing and talking, dry skin, difficulty in micturition, dilated pupillae, all these you can remember. Atropine poisoning, how to treat? Next, treatment is mainly gastric lavage with tannic acid. So usually if they do gastric lavage, it's mainly with the potassium permanganate they will use. But in case of atropine, we are using tannic acid. So you should remember this. Don't write potassium permanganate. Gastric lavage is with the tannic acid. Cold sponge or ice bag, because body temperature is high, you have to cool. Patient should be kept in a dark room, because photophobia, patient feel fear to the light, so to avoid that you have to keep the patient in a dark room. This is specifically for atropine, don't write for other poisoning. And we have an antidote, that is physostigmine. Physostigmine, mainly what it is, physostigmine, it's a cholinergic drug, mainly reversible anti-choline esterase. Acetylcholine, it's get degraded by an enzyme called acetylcholine esterase, This physostigmine is a reversible anticholinesterase, means it's going to inhibit the actions of cholinesterase enzyme and it will increase the level of acetylcholine. Maintenance of blood volume, artificial respiration, you should maintain supportive measure, and if there is a convulsion you have to use diazepam. This is the last slide. We have given difference between atropine and hyoscine. Compare and contrast. Physiotherapy students, you may get this kind of questions, and it's given oral also. What are the actions? It's given in a simple way also. Atropine source is tropobelladonna, and chemically it is a tropine base. It's having CNS effect, excitatory, low dose excitation, even high dose also excitation. Anticholinergic property, more potent on heart, bronchial muscle and intestine. Duration of action is longer. In case of hyoscine, it's an Hyoscyamus niger. The base is copine, and CNS, important, it is depressant. Atropine, it is excitation, but here it is a depressant. More anticholinergic property, more potent on eye and secretory glands. Duration of action shorter. I think one slide is missing, that is the uses of atropine. I have given in other PPT, I think. You can read by yourself. Otherwise also you can note it. I will tell. Just wait, I will tell you uses. One is in pre-anesthetic medication, but nowadays they are using glycopyrrolate. Pulmonary embolism, there is emboli, blood clot, sometimes it will move to other places. In such cases you can use. And antispasmodic, intestinal, renal colic and abdominal cramps also you can use. Bronchial asthma and COPD also you can use. One more use as a midriatic and cycloplegic in case of diagnostic purpose, like to test the errors of error of refraction, like means to find out what are the eye defect in the fundoscopy, to examine the fundus. Mainly used drug is the cyclopentolate. Here they are using, because atropine if you give one whole day the patient will be blind. It won't because it's having the duration of action is longer, 24 hours. Only like to avoid side effects in case of children and elderly people, sometimes they will use, but the main one is the cyclopentolate is used. Okay, and in Parkinson's disease also they are using. In case of myocardial infarction and digitalis toxicity, because it causes tachycardia, they are using. Partial heart block also they will use this drug. And then in case of motion sickness, if you are writing, that it should be you have to mention the words scopolamine or hyoscine. Like if you are writing the uses of atropine, don't include it is having motion sickness property. Motion sickness property is mainly for the scopolamine. And to antagonize muscarinic effects of drugs in case of poisoning, what are those? Means one I told, anticholinergic type of mushroom poisoning. This mushroom poisoning you can use this atropine. In case neostigmine, to block the actions of neostigmine used in myasthenia gravis. Okay, block muscarinic actions of this neostigmine. Neostigmine is the main drug used in myasthenia gravis. So in case of if you are using neostigmine to block this muscarinic action, to show only nicotinic action, you can give atropine or glycopyrrolate. Decurarization or cobra bite also you can use. Decurarization means D-tubercularin is one of the drug. It's used as a skeletal muscle relaxant during major surgery to cause muscle relaxation. So in that cases, to reverse the action of this D-tubercularin, you can use. Okay, atropine you can use. Even neostigmine they are using. Okay, and then coming to the contraindications. Elderly patients with the prostatic hypertrophy you should not give, because it causes urinary retention. In case of glaucoma, mainly narrow iridocorneal angle glaucoma, because it presents congestive are absolutely okay with narrow iridocorneal angle, or in simple term acute congestive glaucoma. You can avoid because it increases intraocular tension. In case of glaucoma, there is intraocular tension will be high. You have to give the drugs that should decrease the intraocular tension, either by increasing the drainage of aqueous humor or decreasing the synthesis of the aqueous humor. Okay, one is either it should decrease the aqueous humor or it should increase the drainage. That drugs only you should give. Like already there is an intraocular pressure will be high, you can't give atropine. Atropine also increases intraocular pressure. Okay, thank you.